My name is Keith Tony, and I understand that municipal elections are nonpartisan. But a Democrat is as a Democrat does. And I am not a Republican in Democrats' clothing. I'm a proud Democrat. I'm also 65 years old, and I didn't realize I was on the down slope or whatever. Yeah, I didn't realize. I don't feel like I am, but perhaps so. I'm a former city councilman in District 2. When our current mayor became mayor, I replaced her in the interim and lost to Councilman Warwick in a runoff. This is very important. This is about maturity and experience. This is not something that's experimental. I'm a member of a fraternity, but this isn't a fraternity stunt. This is about being respectful of the community, being respectful of our cultural icons, not selling them off to developers. This is about the people. Bernie Sanders should have taught us a movement can work. Not just a political campaign. I'm sick of political campaigns. Let's have a people's movement, and it's only the Democratic Party that will do that. I am a proud Democrat. Let the record reflect. We will move things forward, not just for District 2, but for the entire city. Education. We have corporations that want to do business in all 10 council districts. If we can give them a tax abatement, why can't they kick something in so that single parents can get at least their associate degree for free? Why can't that be underwritten? You tell me. Let's talk about senior citizens. I am one. So this isn't philosophical for me, folks. If I don't support senior citizens, I'm not supporting myself. So I do support senior citizens. I support people who have no voice, who are really looked at as if they are invisible. My mother was a maid. She was invisible. Thank you so much. I'm Keith Tony. I appreciate your vote. I won't be silent. I won't be quiet. I'll be the beast in the East for democratic principles.
All right, thank you so much to the District 2 candidates. So we got 2 questions here. Was that one for the District 2 candidates? Okay, excellent. So the 2 that Raphael, our treasurer here, has taken out of the index, literally, is 1, why are you the best candidate for the LGBT community in District 2? And then the other one, because we will do 2 questions, and I apologize again, this is our first time doing a candidate forum of this size in a while, so we're learning a little bit, so just bear with us, okay? What parts of the bond in particular, if you have any, do you support in District 2? And what will you do to make sure that that is carried out effectively in the district? I'll go ahead and start with the council.
Thank you for those questions. As far as the LGBTQ community, I've done all that I can to support them, and I say it now, and if you can tape it, you can put it on video, that bathrooms are for everyone, every citizen, no matter how you want to put it, however you feel you want to go into the men's room, ladies' room, whichever room you want to go to. If you're gay, bisexual, trans, you're welcome, and you're welcome, I'll walk in with you. So it's really... The bathroom bill has to die at the State House. We're going to Austin. I'll be at Austin at least 5 times speaking against it, and that's going to be my job between now until the state legislature is over, even if I'm not the city councilman for District 2, because that's just something that's wrong for the people of Texas, and it's wrong for the people of San Antonio. The second thing, we have the bond. Again, the bond was my package, so out of $83 million, which is 10% of the bond, we got $97.78 million in District 2. So we got $14 million over, approximately $14 million over 10% of the bond, which is great for District 2. It's great for the East Side community that hasn't seen that level of investment. There are Martin Luther King Park, Lockwood Dinwiddie Park, $3.1 million each, $9 million on New Braunfels Street, which hasn't seen a number of investments in probably 40 years, 50 years. And so we made sure that we got that $9 million done. We also got work in the sports education facility. We have a $3.55 million going to that, so we'll have an education facility for after-school programs where kids can go from Sam Houston High School or Davis Middle School or any of the middle schools and high schools in the district and throughout the city. And there'll be free programs for kids who can't afford it, and then programs for kids who can't afford it, they'll have to pay a little bit. So it's going to work out very well. Again, $97.78 million, $83 million is 10%, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Shaw?
Thank you, sir. One thing that I would fight for on City Council is to readdress the city ordinance, the non-discriminating ordinance. It needs to have stronger teeth. Right now, it's nothing but guns. We need to put teeth in there to hold people accountable for this ordinance. Yes, it's in place, but how do we implement it? How do we ensure that that it's followed and abided by? People who wrote this, I don't know what they were thinking, but it needs to have stronger teeth. So when I'm elected to City Council, I will ensure that that ordinance is stronger, applied, and enforced all throughout our city. Regarding the bond, I'm going to kind of flip it a little bit. I think just let the bond that's up right now, we should have put more money into Ella Austin. Ella Austin is a pride of the district. It serves so many people, not only in the district, but throughout San Antonio. We need to ensure that it's a staple of our community. We cannot sell it off to developers. We cannot turn it into condos. We need to do what we can as a community, because we're paying for it, to ensure that we maintain and keep staples in our community like Ella Austin. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Tony, thank you so much, Mr. Shaw.
All right, first of all, with the bond, and I know the councilman is proud of it, I'm not comfortable with anything that's all or nothing. And it was either you vote for this or you get nothing. So we got 97 million. Is that right, where's the council? He left, okay. I should be used to that by now. But okay, so we got 97. How much did Hardberger Park get for the land bridge so the deer and the skunk can go over the highway? Huh? How much did they get for that? As Mr. Shaw said, we have to have someone in office who is really, really respectful of our cultural icons. I don't care what council district you're in. I don't care what. The councilman says we can sell off the Ella Austin Community Center, which was a school for many, many years for African Americans before it became a community center. Now it serves the community, underprivileged community that lives right around there. So he wants to sell that off, but voted against additional funding for VIA, which is what a lot of our residents use to get to their doctor's appointments and that sort of thing. How does he square that up? Somebody asked that question. So that just doesn't work. The money we're supposed to get in District 2 sounds good. Right. It sounds good. But listen, let me tell you this. If you have cancer and I treat you for the flu, I really haven't done anything. We have cancer. And we are hemorrhaging. So that's a pittance. But we have to vote for this thing. We get all or nothing. We get all or nothing. Why should a park on the west side or the east side or the south side always settle for the crumbs that fall from the table when Hardberger gets a land bridge for the deer and the skunk? I want to know who the political consultant is for the deer and the skunk. They're doing better than I'm doing. Because I'd vote against that. But I can't, because it's all or nothing. LGBTQ rights. Why are we even discussing this? It's human rights. It's human rights. It's amazing to me that people, especially even black people people who may be now in elected office, I'm not calling any names, voted against the NDO. But when you talk to them privately, they'll say, my grandfather marched with Martin Luther King. I said, well, then he must be doing pirouettes in his grave about the fact that you didn't vote for this. This is about human beings. LGBTQ, we're all human beings. God bless you. Thank you.
Give the District 2 candidates a hand. Thank you to the District 2 candidates for coming out. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you again in the future. All right, so just one quick point here. We do have to be a little more conscious of time, so I urge the candidates to keep within the 3 minutes, and now that we have the questions on track, just go for that, okay? So next up is going to be the mayoral candidates. Like I said, the District 2 candidates did have to go first because there was an event conflict. So I'm going to ask all of the mayoral candidates to go ahead and step forward if you're here. And we will start with Councilman Ron Nuremberg first, as he is the councilman. And they, again, mayoral candidates will receive 5 minutes or less, up to you. Okay? Yes, and just real quick, that's an excellent point, Raphael, that you mentioned. We have invited every candidate. So if there is not a candidate on the ballot, that is because they did not confirm, and maybe it's just me. Give you an applause if you agree. If you're not going to confirm to the BCYD and express interest in our group, then you probably shouldn't be on the ballot. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ron Nuremberg. I am a father to a beautiful young son who's 8 years old. I'm also the proud husband of a wonderful woman named Erica. For the last 4 years, I've been the District 8 City Councilman, an area of town which is the fastest growing part of this entire region, and also a place where the diversity in all things most closely resembles the entire city. I've enjoyed every moment of it, and I'm here because I'm running for mayor. So I'm not originally from San Antonio like my other opponents. I got here 22 years ago to go to school. I went to Trinity University, and after I graduated, I went to the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia for graduate school, where I met my wife, Erica. We've been married now for 16 years. When I left school, when we were looking for a place where we wanted to spend the rest of our lives, where we wanted to live and work and raise a family, the only place on our list was San Antonio. And we chose San Antonio because it is a warm and welcoming community. It's an inclusive city. It's a place where you always feel like the best days are still in front of us. And that's the truth. That's what we should all be working towards, making ourselves and our neighbors and our families feel like today. And that's what we should be working on to make sure our neighbors feel like that tomorrow. And that's the city you deserve. I will tell you that it gives me great gratitude to see so many people out here tonight, particularly the young people. I worked for 9 years at the Annenberg Public Policy Center, and on projects like factcheck.org and another project called Student Voices, and my role was to work in 22 different cities teaching people about how local government works, why it's important to be involved, particularly young people. And all the issues were different. You can imagine in Seattle they were talking about coastal protection, Los Angeles they were talking about public safety issues, in Chicago it was the public schools just like it was in Detroit. San Antonio, I think we were talking about an NFL stadium at the time. There were smoking bans in San Antonio, lots of different issues at the local level that we face on a daily basis. The only issue that was the same no matter where we went was that nobody trusted their government anymore. Was that people felt like their voices weren't represented by their government anymore. That people felt like when they went to address their councils or their county commissions, that they felt like it didn't matter, that the game was up, the decisions were already made. And that's the challenge for us all here tonight. I know you're making decisions on a ballot for all districts, and that's a good thing. But when you leave here tonight, please take that passion, which I hope is for San Antonio, not just for a particular person, and make sure you talk to your community. Because if we go on the election cycle and you get your way or you don't, and we all go back to our lives, and we leave San Antonio for those folks who want to be engaged, which is really about 5% of the population, then we've all failed. So please take that passion and please remain engaged. I will tell you, I have enjoyed, and it's been the honor of my life to serve as District 8. I will put my record up against anyone in this room. And I know I'm ready for some tough questions, and I welcome that, because that's the job. It's a tough job. And I will tell you that I've talked to people from all across this community, business leaders, civic leaders, neighborhood leaders, and they all say the same thing about San Antonio. They say we're a great city, but we're doing just okay. Now, how many of you think just okay is good enough for the city of San Antonio? I don't. Being just okay means that we're watching wages stagnate, we're watching our jobs get lost to cities like Houston and Austin and Dallas, while we're at the highest rate of violent crime in 25 years. When I first moved to San Antonio, we were known as the drive-by capital of the world. Our violent crime rate is at that level. Being just okay means that we are not focused on the things that matter to people here in our communities. Being just okay, when you think about it, isn't being good enough at all. It's not good enough for San Antonio. What I believe is that we deserve a better city than that. I believe we deserve a city that's fiscally responsible with your tax dollars, a city that is free from the fear of violent crime when you're on your streets or your neighborhoods or in your malls or other public places. A city with a booming economy, so every young person in here shouldn't have to wonder if they're going to get a job in the field that they've studied for. A city you deserve has civic leaders, elected officials who you can trust and who are held to the highest ethical standards and who are faced real consequences when they violate the public trust. That should be the foundation of a great city. The city you deserve is one that efficiently tackles the issues and the services and the infrastructure needs of today, and a city that also plans for tomorrow. You have to do that, because I will tell you, all the pain that we're feeling on our roads or our streets or our economy, whatever it is because people before us didn't care about what was happening 10, 15 years from now. They were just worried about the quick win. Let's face it, today's success and future prosperity go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other, no matter what you might hear of tonight. So that's the city you deserve. That's my vision as your next mayor. And I will tell you, I'm focused on solving the local issues that matter to families. It's not on partisan politics, it's not on wedge issues, it's not on bombastic rhetoric. It's about focusing on issues that affect families so that we can all be proud of the city that we have here today and the city we leave to the next generation. Thank you very much.
So up next, we're going to have Mr. John Velasquez. He is running for mayor as well. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is my first official